Hello everyone, this is the last part of the Aeneid. 100 lines in one day. What a treat. Principio. First I seek again the walls and the dark gateways. First I seek again the muros, the walls, and the dark, literally thresholds, the dark gateways. Qua, through which I extuleram, I had left the, through which I had left the city. Qua, through which I had left. Repeto, I mark and I follow back my vestigia, my footsteps. So I mark and I sequard and I follow retro back my footsteps. I mark and follow back my footsteps in the night, per noctem, and I scan them lustro with a lumine, with a close eye. So, having marked my footsteps, I follow back them by night. So, observata, scanning them, having scanned them, observata, with a close eye. Horror, dread is in my heart everywhere. Simul, the silence itself, at the same time, the silent noises at the same time themselves terrify me. Inde, from there I take myself home, just in case she had made her way there. Inruerant Danae. The Danae, the Greeks there, the Danae had rushed in and were filling the whole building and were controlling the whole building. Ilicet. Then the devouring edax, the hungry fire, volvitur, rolls in the wind up to the very roof, to the top of the roof. Exuperant flammae, the flames, exuperant, tower above. Furit, aestus, the heat rises up to the sky. Procedo, I go on, and once more I see the citadel, and I revisit the citadel. I go forwards, and I revisit the citadel and the house of Priam, et jam. And now, in the empty courtyards of the sanctuary of Juno, and now in the empty courtyards of the sanctuary of Juno, Phoenix and harsh Ulysses, the chosen guards, lecti custodes, the chosen guards, ad servabant, watch over the plunder. Huc undique. Here, Gaza, treasures from all over Troy, torn ad epta, torn from the burning shrines, comma, the tables of the gods and the tables of the gods, and the crateres and the bowls, literally solid with gold, of solid gold, and captured clothing, congeritor, enjambment here, are heaped up. Then we have this cruel imagery of the captured, and boys, children, and trembling matrons stand around in a long row. I even dared to jactare, to hurl my cries through the shadows, through the darkness. I filled the streets with shouting. And pitiful I filled I'm pitiful. I filled the streets with shouting, again and again, in vain, calling for Creusa. Again and again, vocavi, I called for Creusa. I think I've just, I filled the streets with shouting, and in my misery, equiquam, shouting in vain again and again, I called Creusa. As I rushed, quadente, literally, to me, seeking madly and endlessly among the buildings of the city. So, before me, quadente, seeking, madly and without end and endlessly, among the tectis, the buildings of the city. Before my eyes there appeared the infelix, the sad phantom and ghost of Creusa herself. Her form was larger than the one I nota, than the one known to me. Obstipui. I was aghast. I was shocked. My hair stood on end, and my voice clung to my throat. Then she spoke to me thus. Then she spoke thus, and with these words she lessened my fears, she dispelled my cares, my worries. Quid tantum? How does it help? Literally, of what help is it to give in to such insane grief? What help is it to yield in such a way this insane grief, O sweet husband? For it is not without the will, Litotes, there of the gods, that these things happen. These things do not happen without the will of the gods. And it is not allowed for you to bring Creusa from here in your company as your companion. And it is not allowed for you to bring Creusa from here, hinc, as your companion. Nor does literally, for it is not right that you bring Creusa from here as your companion, nor does the ruler of High Olympus Senet allow it, nor does that ruler of High Olympus allow it. There is a long exile for you, and a vast stretch of sea needs to be ploughed. And you will come to the land of Hesperia. We talked about this, we talked about the sounds of the words here, the L's, the M's, etc., where the Lydian Lydius Tibris, where the Lydian Tiber flows with a gentle sweep. Amidst the rich fields of men, amongst the opima arwa, amongst the rich fields of men. There are happy times in store for you there. There are in store for you happy moments, a kingdom and a royal queen. Banish tears for your beloved. Force off the tears for your beloved Creusa. I will not look upon the proud homes, non ego. I will not look upon the proud homes, transferred epithet there, of the Myrmidons and of the Dolopians. Nor will I go be the slave of Greek matrons. I, a Dardan woman, and the wife of the son of divine Venus, but the mighty mother, but the Genetrix, make sure you know who this is, but the mighty mother of the gods, Magna Genetrix, but the mighty mother of the gods keeps me on these shores. Jamque, and now farewell. Jamque, and now vale, farewell, and guard the love of our common child, and guard your love, amorem, of our communis nati, of our common child. When she said these things, she left me weeping, lacrimantem, and wanting to say many things. And she retreated, recessit, and she withdrew into the thin air. 3 times I tried to throw my arms, 3 times there I tried to dare to throw my arms around her brachia, around her neck. 3 times the imago, the form, grasped in vain, fled my hands. Like lebibus ventis, like in the light winds, and most like a winged dream, and similima, and most like in a winged dream. Thus, demum, at last, when the night was over, nocte consumpta, with the night spent, I revisit reviso, my socios, my companions. Note that emphatic sentence following on from the Virgilian periods that we've talked so much about, Aurora. Atque, and here, astonished admirans, I find, and this is that turning point, I suppose, in his psychology, maybe we could say, and here, astonished, I find, atque admirans, and here, astonished, invenio, I find that an ingentem numerum, that a great number of my new comrades, ad fluxisse, indirect statement here, has flooded in, comma, mothers and men, comma, a band gathered, pubem collectam, gathered for exile, vulgus miserabile, a pitiful crowd. From all sides they have come together. Ready with their hearts and their fortunes for me to deducere, for me to lead them over the pelago, over the sea, ready with their hearts and their fortunes for me deducere, to lead them over the pelago, over the sea, into whatever lands I wish. And now, jamque, and now the day star lucifer idae, and now the day star was rising above the high ridges of Ida. Again, remember the portent. Again, remember that Ida, where they'll be chopping the wood, all of those different things where they'd agreed to meet, all these things there. And now, above the top ridges of Ida, the day star was rising. And it was leading in the day, and it was leading in the dawn. And the Danaans held the obsessa limina, the blockaded gates. So the Danaans held the blockaded gates, and nor was there any hope of help dabator being offered. Final chiastic line. I gave in, and lifting my father, I made for Petiwi, I made for the hills. Such a great ending. all the very best. I'm looking forward to seeing you when we all get back.